Alright, let's talk. I have been wanting to do this video for a really long time, and I've just been thinking about it and really wanting to do it, but just haven't made it happen yet. And I finally decided to do it because I feel like it might in some way help someone else. And the topic is Diastasis Recti, which, as you can see from the title. But I got that after my pregnancy, and a lot of you might not even know what it is, but a lot of women get it and they don't know they have it, and no one really told me about it or explained it to me. And I think if I would have known or been a little more aware that it could happen, then I maybe it wouldn't have been as difficult for me if I would have known. Even though I had heard of it before, it just wasn't, I never thought it would happen to me. I'm going to just explain a little bit about what it is. It's very simple, and you might already know what it is, and then kind of my story and how I felt and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm going to actually show you a video of how it looks, and then even some pictures of how it looked at the beginning. It's taken a long time for it to go down, and it's been almost a year since I had Josiah, and so even now it's not healed, and it's one of those things that might never be healed, but I'm believing that it will be healed eventually. But it takes a long time, and that is me doing what I'm supposed to be doing to make it to get fixed. So if you're someone that doesn't even know you have it and you're not even doing anything to try to help fix it, then it's going to be a lot less likely that it's going to go back together. So what is diastasis recti? It's just basically, that means a separation in your recti, your rectus abdominis, which is your six-pack muscle, like this, basically separates so that there is now space in your stomach. And but after that space, there's just a thin layer of connective tissue. So basically it's like your organs, a thin layer of connective tissue, and your muscle. And so when the muscle separates, then you only have a thin layer of tissue there. It's pretty gross, I have to say. I didn't even realize I had it for a while, and it actually probably made it worse at the beginning of my pregnancy because I didn't even know I had it. But one way you can see, and I'll just kind of give you a little bit of where I was at, but when I would be laying in bed, if I would sit up or lay on my back, it looked really pointy. It was hard to sit up. Basically, you don't have your ab muscles. They're like not working anyways because of pregnancy. They're not strong anyways. And then with this, you almost have like, it feels like you have no core muscle. So everything was harder to do. So it was really pointy, and I could actually feel, I guess, my organs coming through. Like if I would lay on my back, I would see a big like protrusion like kind of float up a little bit, and that's awful. Let me tell you, it's just awful. If that's ever happened to you, you know how I feel. It's just disgusting. And I could touch it, I would try to push it back down or like just move weird to try to make it go away. So that was pretty gross. And so your muscles do hold in your organs, which is good and important. So anyways, I didn't even know I had it for a while, and I went in for my 6-week checkup, and then that's when my doctor told me that you have diastasis. She felt my stomach, and she told me that it was, they do it by fingers, like how many finger widths. It was 3 to almost, probably about 3 fingers wide, which means it's this wide. So it was pretty wide, and I was honestly devastated. I actually cried on the way home. It was awful. And because it also felt uncomfortable, and there was a lot of stuff I couldn't do because I had it. It was really weird. And so then I started researching, and I kind of knew what it was because I've had clients before that needed to be careful with abdominal stuff, but I went into more research about it just to figure out exactly what to do. And there are things you can do, but there's a lot of things you can't do. And there's things that will help it just to not get worse, basically. And mainly those things are like when you sit, or when you sit up, not ever to come straight up, but to like lay on your side and then get up that way. You basically feel like kind of like an old person for a while because you can't just do normal things very normally. Like you don't want to bend over. So that was kind of hard, like picking up Josiah, like even as he started getting heavier and it hadn't gone away yet, like bending over all the time, picking him up, that strained it. Like after a long day of taking care of him, it would actually hurt. And then so those are just being aware of like how you're moving throughout the day. It makes a huge difference. And then also wearing a brace, which I have it here to show you. It looks really ugly, but I I researched them a lot, and this was the best one I found. And you just basically wrap it around you, and it like does it. It's not just compression. It doesn't just hold your muscles in, but it holds them together. You don't want just something tight. You want something that actually will hold the muscles together. And there's people that say it's like not good to wear it because it makes you not use your abs. But when your diastasis is really bad, I can't even explain. Your stomach just sits out. Like I couldn't even hold it in at all. So it felt so good to wear this because it made me feel like I wasn't just bulging. And then after a while, even now, like I don't wear this anymore, and it is important to actually activate your muscles. But at the beginning, it was like amazing. So I definitely recommend getting this, and I can put a link to where I got it below. So that's another big thing. And then the third thing is just exercises, and you have to be very careful. And obviously, since I'm a trainer and I love to work out, I just, at 7 weeks after the baby, I started working out right away, but it was crazy how much careful I had to be and how many exercises I could not do. Basically, almost no ab work, and that means like crunches type thing or anything on the floor. No planks, no push-ups, nothing on your hands and knees where you put forward hanging pressure. Sorry, the video cut out. So nothing with a lot of pressure. And my diastasis was all the way from here all the way down. So it was pretty long. And now actually it's closed pretty much at the top and closed at the bottom, but around my belly button it's still open. And now it's about 1 to 2 finger widths apart, and the rest is almost closed up. So I'm really happy about that. And like I said, I'm going to show you a video of how it looks so you can kind of know, and just I think it is always helpful to see someone else and what they're going through. And before I show it to you, there are some exercises you can do, and I might make another video about specific exercises so that if you have it, you can do them. But one of the biggest things was just trying to tighten, like even now I'm tightening it and then relaxing it. At the beginning, I literally could not tighten. I couldn't even feel it at all. They'd be like, tighten your muscles. And I'd be like, I literally could not tighten it. It was so weird. Could not even feel it. And so one of the biggest ones was laying against the wall, standing against the wall, and then just trying to bring my lower back to the wall, and then doing that over and over again. At the beginning, it literally felt I was doing nothing, and it literally felt I had a huge, just massive hole in my stomach. So it was really, really hard at the beginning, but it just took being consistent, and then just being active in general made a big difference as well. And this is kind of a different topic, but when I also started eating healthier after, because the first 6, 7, 8 weeks, you're not eating super healthy. After you have the baby, you're kind of just eating whatever, you know, you're hungry. It's not as easy to cook as it used to be. You're just doing more. It's just overwhelming at the beginning. But when I started eating a lot healthier, it made a huge difference on how fast it healed. So, and that's just something totally different. But yeah, and it's hard anyways. And if you're a mom, you definitely understand, and no one can really understand unless they have been one, because they always say like your body changes, but like your body changes, and it is just crazy like how you feel and how you feel like you look. So it's hard anyways, and then it makes it harder if you have something like diastasis, because on top of just trying to heal anyways normally, you have something that's actually physically could it's kind of bad. Like it could turn into a hernia. If I wasn't careful, I could get a hernia or something. So it's just definitely not the easiest thing to have to deal with. So that's why I want you to be aware of it and maybe tell people so they can be aware, because there's not a lot of knowledge on it. I don't feel like. I even told people I had it and they didn't even know what it was. So anyways, there are things you can do to help it. It does take a long time. As moms, it's important to try to stay positive about yourself, because you look so different at the beginning, and they say it takes a year, and it does legitimately take at least a year. It's almost been a year, and I'm just now starting to be like, okay, like, oh wow, I look okay, which is just crazy. And I know it's not about that, but as women, you're just gonna have those thoughts. So it does take a while to get yourself to probably where you want to be or how you imagine you should be. So anyways, now I'm going to kind of show you how the stomach looks and kind of explain it a little bit more, and maybe show you some exercises. Hey girls, so now I'm going to show you what it looks like now, and then I'll post pictures to show you what it looked like at the beginning, and then I'm going to show you how to tell if you have diastasis, and then a couple of exercises that you can do, and also just in different position how it looks and how it kind of affects your body, so that if you have it, you might have a better idea of what it is. Okay, so this is how it looks now, and just looking at it, it doesn't look bad. I don't know if you can tell, but there's below my belly button and above my belly button there is space. So when I stand to the side, you can kind of see how my belly button, how that pokes out. This here is like the muscle, and it's elevated right here. So it doesn't look that bad standing up now, which is awesome because it used to look really weird. But as you can see, as I make different movements, it looks definitely different. And you can, as the closer you get, you can kind of tell it's very wrinkly, and it just sits weird. So like there's just a lot of space here. So the biggest thing is when you're standing, looks kind of pretty much okay, but then when you bend over, how it looks. And so let me just do it this way. Okay, so this is kind of embarrassing, but that's how it looks when you bend over. As you can see, just the skin, and there's like space there. So okay, so I turned on some more light so you can see better. I'm just going to show you though that like as I bend down, if you can see right there, what happens is that the muscle just hangs. So that's the end of the muscle right there. It should be kind of under my belly button, but it's not. So there's that space, and there's just this skin here. So that's what it really just does. It kind of, and this is like really good now, but it was like super pointy and way out here for a long time. And so even still, if I try to contract, I can't do it completely, and the belly button sits kind of weird just because the muscle is not under it like it normally would, or closer to it. So I'm going to show you now on the ground. So now I'm going to lay on my back and show you how to test if you have diastasis. So you're going to lay on your back, feet flat, head back. You're going to put your hands right there. You're just going to lift your head off the ground, your shoulders off the ground, and when you bend forward, you'll see space here, and you put your hands and you can feel how much space you have. And you can feel like the separation. So I have about the middle here about 2, a little less than 2, but then up here almost none, and down here a little bit, but not as much as I used to. So I don't know if you can see it, but if I bring my stomach in, how the belly button protrudes, and it then will, if I lay here long enough, it will sink down. So I'm going to show you one of the exercises I did at the beginning that was very helpful, and was an easier one to do because I could actually feel everything. And so it's basically laying on your back, and there's 2 parts to it. You can make it more difficult if you want, but it is laying on your back, and just, so there'll be space here. You want to just bring your belly button in. Hold it as tight as possible for a little bit of a count, and then relax. This sounds super basic, but if you can do that, that's your deep core muscles. It's going to help without putting a lot of pressure, obviously no pressure, on the muscles that are like weak right now and that are separated. And then to add to this, to kind of help with your core, everything is related with your glutes. It's all connected. So you can add a hip raise to this. So you just bring it in, and then raise your glutes up, and then lower back down, bring it back in, and repeat. So bring it back in, lift, relax, bring it back in, and lift. And so now I can do this pretty well, and before, it was weird. And honestly, when I laid on my back too, there would be, I would lay here and I would just feel like muscle, the organs kind of coming up. So that doesn't happen much anymore, so that's good. So that's one exercise, and the rest that I really did were against the wall. And so it's basically that same movement but on the wall and in different variations. So like doing it really quickly, then holding and tightening, then holding for a count of 10. But it's only one of the main exercises you can do to keep it really tight without bothering it. And then here's another one. You want to go on your knees. It's a side plank and it helps the muscles a little bit, but you still have to be careful with this one, and you lift up. And you're going to just hold this and bring it in tight. And even here you can see a little better the hole that I have right there. And that just basically gets the muscles, the deep core transverse abdominis muscles that basically cinch your waist and hold everything in tight. You're not going to want to do anything, like I said, that's going to actually work these front muscles, because they'll just cause more bulging. So, and as you can see, like, this is just skin here, and that's there because my muscles are separated. And so, you know what, you just got to live with it and then keep working to make it better. And it's been a long road, but it's been a long road, but it's been good as well. You know, I've learned a lot about myself, and also maybe can help other people now that have this. And I want to help women that have this, because it's not fun to have, and just kind of know that it does get better, and you just got to be consistent with it and intentional. So yeah. And then obviously earlier in the video I explained how you can tell if you're one of those women that just have like a pooch that you don't know why it has never gone away. Diastasis could be one of the reasons for it. Because typically if you're eating healthy and working out and you lose body fat, your stomach should get flatter, and if you've always had a pooch and it just won't go away, that might be it. So do the test and see if you have it, and if so, comment below, let me know. I'd love to answer any questions you have and help you along in your journey. And then if you want, I can even make maybe another video to show you even more exercises you can do. I just wanted this to be more of like an informational thing, but I can go deeper into it if I need to. Alright, thanks guys. Also, I just wanted to show you the view of sitting down and how it makes it a lot different. This is the view sitting down on my stomach, and then from the side, if you can see that, you can hear my baby too. He did this to me. So that's how it looks from the front and the side. And then also, I don't think I got a good view, but laying down, that's how it looks laying down. You can see that protrusion right there, that little, so just wanted to give you an idea. Hope this helped a little bit.